All right, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Billy Selekane. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, consultant, and facilitator.
Which one is your business?
You see. All right, good. So I speak, which means I inspire people. And when people are inspired, they say, wow, you told us some amazing things, but how do we do those things? Then I come in and I consult before I coach. I find out what the issues are by using methodologies of finding out, and then I design a program, okay? Then I facilitate the program that I designed with my team, and then I coach the people to embed the program in their business. So it's a value chain, but everything begins with speaking. That's my forte, that's what I do, that's my passion, that's what drives me, that's what makes me wake up in the morning. Because I believe that life is tough, you know, and we take it for granted that we do stuff. Life is tough, and people need inspiration. And you know, I always find it fascinating that people think I can always come for an hour and change people's lives. Yes, it can be done. It does happen. However, you don't take a shower once a week and be clean for the whole week. You take a shower every day. So we all need inspiration every day, including me. Because a lot of people say, so what inspires you? I says, Jesus Christ inspires me and the Bible inspires me, but not religion. I just want to qualify it. Not religion. Because religion has killed more human beings on planet Earth than any natural disaster. And it continually does so. Now in Africa, we've got more churches per capita than any other place on planet Earth, and yet we're the poorest of them all. So religion is man's worst enemy, you know, so I don't do religion. Okay. Now, we're going to spend this time and we're going to have conversations around business and about life, and feel free to ask me and to stop me as I move. I usually say to people, I don't know much, but what I know very well. And one thing that I've picked up is that businesses don't fail. People fail businesses. And people fail businesses because they start them for the wrong reasons. Does it make sense? Now, you know, speaking is a very fascinating thing because speaking is like events and speaking is like churches. Anybody can be an apostle. I don't know how they get to give themselves these titles. But somebody's an apostle, somebody's a prophet. I don't know who tells them that they are these things they call themselves. I don't know. But it happens. They take a beautiful picture of their wives and they put it up there and they call the church 7 apostles on top of the river international. But it's only in Tembisa and people believe it, you know. You know, and same with events. Everybody and his cousin and his aunt starts an events company. Same applies to speaking. Everybody is a motivational speaker. You know, everybody is in my inbox I get hundreds and hundreds of emails. Mr. Selekane, I'm a motivational speaker. I want you to come and mentor me. So, what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about certain concepts, and I'm going to share with you some knowledge which you probably don't know, but it's always been there, and that is going to question what you do. Because here's the deal: some of you are probably doing what you shouldn't be doing. Does that make sense? And it's not your fault, by the way, because society has programmed you and placed you in this environment where you have to become reactive, not proactive. Because most of us, we are reactive. We are reacting to what happens to us. Because we never had a choice about what should be happening to us. Now, business, it's a fascinating thing because I always say to people, guys, I'm going to need the better black one. Every business has to answer the question why. And every entrepreneur has to answer the question why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why you? Why here? Why this year? Why in this generation? Does it make sense? And if you cannot answer the question why, it's going to become difficult for you to get to the how. You know, how am I going to do what I want to do? Why am I doing it and how am I going to do it? The why is the bigger question of original intent, and the how is the mechanics of what needs to be done. Now, that's why I'm saying, unfortunately, most of us, we live our life very reactively. It's not our fault because we grew up in a society, especially in South Africa, a very fragmented society. You know, we've got very fascinating and wrong beliefs that have driven our society. You know, there's a belief that woman says, not but I want to fail, I just want a child, I don't want a man. But they were born in a family that had both a father and a mother. You know, it's fascinating. I don't get it. And people think a child is a pet. You know, they think a child is, oh, it's a little pet, you know, little. And this thing is going to grow, and one day it's going to hold a gun and shoot somebody. You understand what I'm trying to say? And now in our society, there's a focus towards women. Take a girl to child work, what, all these things. But they forget the boys. Because the boys are the most dangerous. And the men are the most dangerous. It's men who shoot. It's men who commit suicide. It's men who kills families. It's men who impregnate women. You understand? And men have been taught two things, very sadly. The first thing they said, provide. A man must provide. And the second thing they say, don't show your emotion. A man must not show his emotion. And you know? So men create big atomic bombs to kill. Faster guns, faster cars, you know, all the destructive things are created by men. You know what I'm trying to say? So we have a challenge. So as entrepreneurs or businesses, we have to answer these two questions. Why am I doing what I'm doing, and how am I going to do it? Okay? And then you also have to answer this question. The question of impact. Who is what I'm doing going to impact? Is it going to impact them positively? Is it going to impact them negatively? Now, when I say to you that some of you are doing things that you shouldn't be doing, it's a very fascinating truth. Now, the Chinese, as you know, everywhere you go, it's Chinese. The Chinese had a book, and this book was called the I Ching. This book was written about 8,000 years ago. Well, let's not get into the debate of how old the planet Earth is. I don't know. Some people say 1 billion, some people say it's hundreds of millions. I don't know who's right. But, you know, if you look at biblical archaeology, if you look at the archaeology of the Bible and the things that happened biblically, it says the Earth is about 6,500 and something years old. You know, if you look at you see, she disagrees with me. It's okay. You can disagree with me. It's fine. That's my opinion based on the history that I've read on a book called the Bible, and that has historic context, you know. And then there are people who are Darwinist and you name it. They'll say, no, the world is 8 billion years old. It was a big bang explosion and all these kind of things. So all those are opinions. However, the Chinese says they wrote this book in 8,000 years ago. Now, this book, I Ching, is called the Book of Change. So what inspired the Chinese to write this book, and how does it matter? Why does it matter for me to talk about it to you? Well, the Chinese, they looked at nature and they looked at humanity, and they realized this one profound truth which we all know. Man mimics nature. You know what I'm trying to say? Nature is us, we are nature. Does it make sense? So we mimic nature. And then they realized that if we mimic nature, therefore our characters, our way of life, our way of connecting with people has to mimic nature. And they talk about how can we design a methodology that can help people to find their likeness to nature. So they speak about the fire people. No, the fire people are the fiery, very passionate people and very loud. They speak about the earth people. No, the earth is the earth. You know these kind of people that are down to earth, that nothing shakes them, nothing rattles them. You come and say, hey, I have a problem. He says, no, relax. What is the problem? Let's deal with it. You know those kind of people. So those are called the earth people. You know what I'm trying to say? And the fiery people are the passionate people, the guys that always make noise and excited and stuff like that. And there's the windy people. The windy people are the ones that get taken by anything and everything. You know what I'm trying to say? But they flow with anything. You know, stationary one day, construction the other day, you know. You know what I'm talking about. And then there's the water people. You know what I'm trying to say? And then there's the wood people. And so the Chinese then realized that if we can be able to sort of give people assessments and match them to nature, if they work according to their nature, they will get into this thing we call flow, which means they're not pushing against anything. They're flowing with something. Does it make sense? Now, this I Ching book inspired people like Carl Jung. How many of you know Carl Jung? Carl Jung was a German psychologist. He was the first person to come up with personality profiling. Okay? And then it went into the USA, it became Myers-Briggs, it became Thomas International Profiling, and it just went crazy because people took that concept from the I Ching, from this Chinese book called the I Ching. So there's a good friend of mine, his name is Roger Hamilton. How many of you have heard of a guy called Roger Hamilton? Thank you. Now, yes, Roger Hamilton then studied the I Ching. Then he asked himself this one question. Is it possible If the Chinese says that we mimic nature, that nature is us and we are nature, is it possible that even in business, we can truly become successful when we flow with who we are, not against who we're supposed to be? Yes? And he did a research and he came up with a very powerful concept called wealth dynamics. Now, wealth dynamics simply says that each and every one of us will create wealth according to our DNA, according to our profile. And if you're not working towards your profile, you're working against yourself, literally. And I'm going to share with you what these 8 are, and we're going to go through certain people that you guys know who we can use as case studies to see who these people are. Now, these wealth dynamics, there are 8 of them, okay? The first one, it's called a mechanic. The second one is a creator. The third one is a star. The fourth one is a supporter. The fifth one is a deal maker. Sixth one is a trader. The seventh one is the accumulator. And the last one is the Lord. Now, you can go to his website, Wealth Dynamics, and do the wealth test. Actually, I say to a lot of entrepreneurs, the best 1,000 couple of rands that you can ever invest in your life is to go online and do the wealth dynamic test. How many of you have done it? I promise you. Go on a Savannah fast, and a Heineken fast, and a John Walker Blue fast, and take that money and go to that website and do the test. You'll be surprised what it gives you. All right. I will send you this information, don't worry. So let's go through these people and find out who they are. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a creator. He created Apple, he created, the iPhone and whatever. So that's how he made his wealth. That's how Steve Jobs created his wealth. That's all he did. He created something. Now, some of us, or some of you are probably creators. Your profile is to create something. Okay? And if you're working against this profile, you're doing something which is contrary to this, it's going to be a very long journey. It's going to be very, very difficult because you are literally working against your DNA. Does it make sense? I've done the test twice and it keeps giving me the same results. It says I'm a creator closer to a star. And I like creating things. And so it is correct. And once you get the test, it will tell you which kind of people do you need around you to help you build a business. Does it make sense? Because you need people that complement in your business. And most of you go into partnerships with people because they are your friends. Here is a whole man, eh? And then it's just a big remorse, it's a mess, you fight, and then, and when people are partners in business, one fascinating thing happens. If there's no money, you blame each other. And when there's a lot of money, somebody wants more than the other. Isn't that fascinating? So I know in co-ops it's the same story, Co-ops is meetings after meetings and long agendas and all kind of things. So if you don't find what your true wealth dynamic profile is, you're really going to struggle. The second one is Oprah. Now, let me just throw it out there. What do you think Oprah is? What do you think her profile is? Oprah's profile is a star. Oprah makes money just by being Oprah. She's the billionaire, the first black woman billionaire. And what did Oprah? Oprah has never created anything. She just used to sit in a sofa and get people to come and tell their hard-earned and painful stories. And everybody got excited and she built a brand. So out of her brand, she made the money. So there are people, one of the people that it took, for a long time I did not know who these people were. And then I found out, but now I'm studying these people, the Kardashians. Now my daughter used to say the Kardashians this. I'm saying, who are these people? What do they do? She says, Papa, you must watch it. But you're not telling me what they do. What do these people do? And the Kardashians, what do they do? Nothing. But they are multi-millionaires because they are stars. And let me tell you one thing. People take these girls and think these girls they are wealthy. So therefore they know what me and you don't know. They do what me and you don't do. They've played according to their strength and they've made their brand become absolutely amazing. There's an online game which they have created and it's played by people who play games. And in that game, you dress them. You literally buy clothes and you dress them nicely and they compete on that. That game is played by 60 million people, over 60 million people. That game makes over $10 million a week. It's unbelievable.